Can I have everybody's attention, please? Good afternoon. First of all, thank you very, very much for coming today. My name's Robin, and I'm actually the publishing editing director of what is a very small independent publishing firm, Balance Circle Publishing, or BCP as we call it. And we've been going since 2009, and our aim has always been to try and find authors who are struggling to get into the industry and to encourage them, help them, and bring them out. And obviously today, we're really thrilled to be able to display Colin's brand new book for him for the first time. So, in that, congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome to the world of books. It's a strange feeling when you turn on your internet one afternoon and you see your brother dressed as Hitler in the pictures, and that was my first experience of Heaven Knows, and obviously that led to a conversation with my brother Carl as to why he was dressed as such, and he then started to tell me about Colin, which is going back about a year and a half ago. And we did at the time discuss, he said that Colin was very eager to bring his book to publication, and I was slightly interested. From my point of view, I tend to specialise in sci-fi fantasy fiction. But we had a chat, and to be honest, knowing Carl, because Carl forgets everything, he tells you 1 minute and he's forgotten 2 minutes later. I just left it at that until he came back and approached me and asked me would we like to speak to Colin. So at that point we had a look at the play, and we had to make a decision on how we were going to produce and format this. And obviously a lot of you I feel have seen the play. Have you? Yeah? No? Yeah, right. Well, I've not had that pleasure yet. But I must admit I had an incredible afternoon, sat in the garden in the beautiful sunshine, reading the story and just laughing and giggling hysterically. One of our areas that we focus on is we believe, we're all kind of old-fashioned book readers, and we believe that a book should make you think. It should carry a few points that make you go away and reflect. And the thing I love about Colin's work is that he paints a picture that does actually, even though it's a comedy and even though it gives you the giggles, it does actually make you think about what is to come later. So he's very kindly arranged today for two friends of his. I believe John has already appeared in the play.
No,
is it John?
Here, not in the
John. John and Mike are actually going to act out what is actually one of my favourite scenes, and they're going to do a brief reading. After which, I'm going to invite Colin to come up and have a few words. And then any of you who've not had a copy of your book signed, Colin will be available behind us in a little while to just put his name in and make the books more valuable. These are first editions, don't forget. They will soar in value over the years. So could I please introduce you to John Fletcher and Matt Lawler. Is it? Yeah. Oh, right.
Should perhaps just explain, just before they do, that this is scene 3, and we've already established that the protagonist, Andy, has died, and he's already had a preliminary interview, and he's already been confronted by his collector, who is taking him to the afterlife. This is the kind of second interview following the preliminary interview, where he finds out where he's going after that. So, take it away, boys.
What do you want?
They told me to come in here.
Who did?
That man.
What man?
The man behind the desk.
Who was it?
I don't know.
If you didn't know who he was, why did you do what he said?
I'm not sure. He just kept saying I was dead.
Who did?
That man.
What man?
The man behind the desk.
Do you think that you're dead?
Well, I don't know. Am I?
Why are you asking me?
Well, you look like you might be somebody in charge.
Well, you're the sort of person who doesn't know if he's alive or dead, then God help you. Take a seat.
Thank you.
Andrew Reardon.
Yes, that's right. So you do know who I am?
I have some questions for you.
Yes.
You'll make things a lot easier for yourself if you answer the questions quickly and honestly. Do you understand?
Yes.
Understand this. You must not lie to me, is that clear?
Right.
Do
Yes.
you have any questions?
Lots, yes.
I mean about what I just said.
Oh, no, not about that, no.
Very well, we'll begin. Are you ready?
Yes, yes, I'm ready. Fire away.
Saint or sinner?
What?
Saint or sinner?
I don't really understand the question.
Saint or sinner?
Well, I'm not really. I'm not either. I'm no saint, but I wouldn't call myself a sinner. I've done bad things in my time, but haven't we all? I'm somewhere in the middle, I suppose.
Directly or indirectly, how many people's deaths are you responsible for?
Deaths? Well, none. I'm not responsible for anyone's death. What sort of question is that?
Directly or indirectly, how many animals' deaths are you responsible for?
Animals? Oh, I've never killed an animal. Well, I ran over a hedgehog once in Slapton, but that was an accident.
Indirectly?
That was the only time. By the time I'd seen it, it was too late.
Indirectly?
I don't understand. I've answered the question.
Do you like lamb chops, bacon, sausage, chicken nuggets?
Oh, yes, of course.
So, how many?
Oh, I see where you're coming from. You mean how many animals have I eaten in my life? Well, that's a tough question.
How many?
I don't know.
More than 100?
I would think so.
More than 1,000?
Well, I don't know. I didn't. Well, I've never really thought about it. I mean, I like a bit of chicken. What's wrong with that?
More
I
than
mean, who doesn't like a bit of chicken?
More than 1 million?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so. Not more than 1 million. Look, what are these questions leading to?
Directly or indirectly, how many insects' deaths are you responsible for?
Insects? Don't tell me you're going to penalise me for swatting a fly.
Please answer the question.
Well, this is insane. How would anyone know that? I mean, insects are just...
Just what, Mr. Reardon?
Well,
Would you mind telling me who Wasp Man Brian was?
Wasp Man Brian. Oh, yes, Brian. He was a chap who came to sort out that wasp nest in our loft.
Would you mind explaining what you mean by sort out?
Well, we were getting a lot of problems with wasps, and it turned out we had a wasp nest in our loft, so we asked Brian to
what, Mr. Reardon?
Well,
Is it not true that, under your instructions, Wasp Man Brian, as you call him, did knowingly assassinate an entire wasp colony with all the coldness of a professional hitman?
well, I wouldn't put it like that. I mean, that's ridiculous. Don't tell me that's going to get me in trouble up here. I mean, what would you have done? They were all over the place. They were a nuisance.
Have you ever hurt an animal for your own amusement? Have you, for example, set fire to a camel?
No, of course not.
Have you ever laughed at trees?
No.
Is it your belief that Humpty Dumpty was, in fact, an egg? Do you believe in God?
I don't know.
Do you believe in the devil?
I don't think so.
Have you ever praised the Lord?
Not really.
Have you ever sung the praises of Lucifer?
No.
Have you ever cursed the Lord?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Have you ever purchased an effigy of Satan, which you have then given as a gift during a romantic ritual, in the hope of using said image of the Dark One to procure, directly or indirectly, sexual favours?
No, of course not.
Then would you mind explaining this?
It's a horny devil. I got it on Valentine's Day for...
Horny.
devil.
How many of the 7 deadly sins have you committed?
Oh, I'm not really sure.
Are you familiar with the 7 deadly sins?
Yeah, sort of.
So how many?
I've no idea. I don't make mental notes of these things.
How many of the 10 commandments have you broken?
Oh, God.
What did you say?
Nothing.
I thought you said you never cursed the Lord.
I don't.
You did.
No, I didn't.
You just said, oh God. Now if that's not cursing, then I'd like to know what is.
Well, I didn't mean it in that way.
Well, how did you mean it, Mr. Reardon?
Well, it's not like I said that God was a bit daft, or God was a puff, or anything
Are
offensive
you
like that.
homophobic, Mr. Reardon?
No, of course I'm not. But when I said, oh God, just now, I meant it in a, oh help me sort of way, not in a cursing sort of way.
So you do believe in God?
Um,
If you're asking God for help, then you must believe in Him. You must believe He exists.
oh God. Oh, shh.
I hope you are not trying to mislead me, Mr. Reardon. What you said during the course of this interview could have a real bearing on what happens to you in the future. You need to tread carefully.
I'm not trying to mislead you. It's just... Look, let's skip the 10 Commandments, shall we? I have to admit that I only know a couple of them anyway. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, and isn't there something about covering your neighbour's ox or something like that? And what is that you're writing?
Do you believe Jesus suffered on the cross?
Well, it couldn't have been very pleasant.
How have you benefited from His suffering?
I don't know.
How has the world benefited from His suffering?
I don't know.
You think, therefore, He sacrificed His life in vain?
I don't know.
You don't seem to know a lot, Mr. Reardon. Are you trying to avoid saying something you think might get you into trouble?
Well, it's not really that. I mean, I'm not a very religious person. I have to tell you, this has been a very trying day for me. I mean, last night I was relaxing at home with a cup of cocoa and enjoying Free Willy. It's a film. I went to bed and the next thing I know, some strange woman is in bed next to me, banging on about the Grim Reaper. The bottom line is, I'm supposed to be dead. I mean, it's a lot to take in.
Which religious group do you belong to? Buddhist, Muslim, Methodist, Mormon, Jehovah's Witness, Catholic, C of E? Or are you one of those tiresome people who put Jedi down on application forms?
As I said, I'm not very religious.
Not very religious.
I don't belong to any religious group.
Why not?
Well, none of them ever made me feel I wanted to belong to them.
What is wrong with you? Did you never feel you wanted to be part of a body of like-minded people?
Well, I can get that with my mates down at the Legion.
And which God do you and your mates at the Legion worship?
But we don't tend to discuss that sort of thing.
Do you and your mates at the Legion ever hold pagan rituals in the woods, dancing round a fire and biting the heads off chicken?
Oh, of course not. We'd never dream of doing anything like that.
So just what do you and your friends do?
Well, for the most part, we play games.
Are you playing games with me, Mr. Reardon?
No, of course not.
Because if you are, I strongly advise that you cease from doing so.
But why would I do that?
Are you an atheist?
No,
Are you agnostic?
I don't know.
Just what do you believe in?
Well, I just believe in living as good a life as I can. I don't believe in violence or war. I like to think I'm a good person who would help the next man if he needed a hand. And that's it, really.
How much money have you given to charitable organisations over the years?
No idea. Some?
More than $1 million?
Are you joking?
More than 100,000?
Well, not as much as that.
How much?
A few quid here and
How
there.
much?
Look, I don't know. Look, do most people know how much they've given to charity? Or how many flies they've killed? I doubt it.
You're not going to help yourself if you lose your temper, Mr. Reardon.
I'm sorry.
How much harm have you done to the planet?
What, with aerosols and stuff, you mean?
Do you own a car?
Yes.
Do you fly?
Not personally.
I mean by plane.
Well, I've been on holidays. I mean, how else can you get to Corfu?
Have you damaged the ozone layer?
Not on purpose.
Have you ever performed sex with an animal against its wishes?
No!
Why did you find it necessary to get married 3 times?
Well, I didn't want to get married 3 times. But my wives died.
All of them?
Yes.
This is an unusual situation. How do you account for it?
I don't know. I suppose I was unlucky. My wives died. All of them. In different ways.
In light of what has happened now, how do you feel about your wives and what you have to face?
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
What contribution did you make to the world?
Well, I made people smile.
Is that all?
Well, I've touched a few lives, I think. I have family and friends who love me and I love them.
Are you a leader or a follower?
I suppose I'm more of a follower if I'm honest.
Well, Mr. Reardon, it is my belief, following this brief interview, that you are a weak-minded, dishonest, vague, argumentative, aggressive person with no apparent regard for the planet or many of the life forms that inhabit it. You clearly have no real beliefs or opinions, apart from possibly homophobia. I'm going to be hard-pressed to highlight any good points. What do you have to say about that, Mr. Reardon?
Well, I don't know what to say. I don't think I'm the person you describe, but I don't know the rules or how things are judged here. What can I say?
Do you believe that there are such things as heaven and hell?
Crikey. Sounds like an ominous question.
Or do you?
I don't know. But I've got a funny feeling I'm going to find out.
No further questions. Someone will be with you in a moment.
But where are you going?
Thank you for your cooperation.
But what about me? Oh my God, this is it. I'm going to hell. What a way to end up. If there is a God, I'm sorry I let you down. I hope this is like a Christmas carol and I wake up on Christmas morning with a new lease of life and a cheerful disposition. May the Lord have mercy on my soul.
Ladies and gentlemen, the author of today, Mr. Colin Smith.
I'm just gonna grab a copy first because it's kind of cool. I like it. I'm definitely going to have one. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. Thank you for buying books. Those of you who bought books. John and Mike, thank you for coming in and being Kurt and Andy for me. And I'd like to thank my old buddy Chris there. He designed the amazing picture of the Grim Reaper and all the mad heads around it and stuff. It's amazing, really. I wrote this play mostly in my kitchen in about 8 years ago, and I was extremely depressed, and I am off my head at the best of times. So when someone off the head is depressed, you know, what can be produced can be something pretty crazy and mashed up, and that's kind of what this is. The whole idea of like Hitler Jesus and giant chickens, and for those of you who've seen it, you know, it's just kind of throw everything into the melting pot and see what comes out. But it has given me, you know, amazing pleasure. I've really enjoyed the whole Head and Nose journey, from the productions that we've done, all the fantastic actors that I've had in it, and directors and stuff. It's just been, you know, it's beyond my wildest dreams, you know, that it's now a book, you know, it's just so fantastic. And I think the first time that we ever did it in front of an audience, we did it in front of like about 15 people here for like the open dress, and it was Damien and I. We did the scene as Hitler and Jesus when Hitler sticks a swastika on Jesus' back when they go down to the shops. So Jesus is unaware of it, and the audience just pissed themselves, and it was just. And Damien came off, never forget it. He just kind of went. Like that. And that was just 15 people. So the next night we had a full audience in, and it just went amazingly well. We sold all the tickets, and we won an award, and then Guy Bridge put it on, and Saddleworth put it on. And then this year, completely different group of people that I had no connection with put it on in Liverpool. None of them are here, so I said it wasn't that fun. But nevertheless, it was the great fact that they did it. So I hope I've not forgotten anybody. Obviously, I'd like to thank VCP and just hope that the Heaven Knows is just the kind of beginning of the Heaven Knows journey, not the kind of end of it. That it can really take off and people buy it in Israel and Yugoslavia, it's not called that anymore, and wherever else. But nice to see that a reasonable amount of people here. Thank you all for coming, and thanks.